So while the current stock market is doing quite well and many of the stocks that we've been talking about on this channel are doing well, such as Rolls-Royce, IonQ, nuclear energy stocks, there are of course the ugly ducklings, and one prominent one of those is Alpine 4. So Alpine 4 stands out. It's currently like one of my biggest losing stocks, but it stands out a bit more because it's amongst the penny stocks that were basically like pump and dumps or whatever. But this one was not really that. This was a company that kind of had a bit of hope. It had like a following. Everyone was kind of rooting for it and had high hopes for it. And I know some people who put sizable portions of their portfolio into it. So it's very sad how it's turned out so far. Why has this happened to it, and where do we go from here? And most importantly, what do we learn from this? Alpine 4 is like generally like a company that was acquiring different tech related companies such as automotive tech, logistics, drones, batteries, stuff like that. But they took on substantial debt to fund their operations and acquisitions, which hurt the investor confidence, and to manage their cash flow they issued more shares, diluting the existing shareholders and pushing the price further down. And they were diversifying broadly into like everything sort of, without like a core revenue generator. And investors generally prefer like focused growth, not like they had like a little bit of like many different sectors, and none of them were like particularly doing well. And while a lot of people on stock twits seem to say that it was like a scam and everything, it's not necessarily a scam. It just seems more like bad management and bad decision making. There's not really any like evidence to say that it was a scam. I don't even remember why I personally invested in this. Like, I don't actually remember, honestly. Like, it's probably someone told me, or I saw like people are buying it and it's doing well, and it was doing well for me as well in the beginning. I was up like a decent amount, and I don't know, I was new at that time, and I just thought, oh, it's gonna keep going up. And I mean, you get excited. The important thing is that I still managed my risk, and I only put like a certain amount in this stock. So this is why I always say, in general, as much as a stock can look convincing or can look like it's gonna make it, or it's making you money, or it's already up and it's gonna go more up, always manage your risk. So I know some people who kind of went like all in or something on Alpine 4 and they were doing great, and then when it collapsed, it's like their whole thing is gone. So that's why when I talk about stocks that I do like IonQ or Rolls-Royce or something like that, I don't go all in. As much as it might look tempting and it might look like the best thing to do, and it might look like I'm throwing away like an opportunity of a lifetime. This is why, because the same way I feel about some of these companies, I felt about Alpine 4. I mean, not really that much, because Alpine 4 it's not like a company like Rolls-Royce, but I mean, IonQ is also like a new company sort of. It's not like a legacy brand like Google or something like that. That's why the biggest takeaway from this is to manage your risk. I don't know if there's much interest in Alpine 4 anymore. I didn't see many videos about it, but this video is for the people who did lose a lot of money in Alpine 4. It's just to remind you that you're not alone. There is many of us. Whether you did invest in Alpine 4 or you are an investor in general, this is just a reminder to always manage your risk. And as much as a stock might look convincing, don't do something like disproportionately, don't go like all in something, or take bigger risks than you're used to. Like, take measured risks that you can afford to lose, and it's not going to like wipe out your whole portfolio. They've been also delisted from the Nasdaq, which the way they've been delisted is, it kind of shows that it probably wasn't a scam, because there have been some companies that did like fraudulent activity and they got like immediately delisted from the Nasdaq. While Alpine 4, they just kept giving them like a warning and then a warning and then an extension, and then, like, you know, they just kept saying, listen, your numbers aren't looking good, you need to fix this, you need to do that. So it seems that they just were struggling. They just weren't being managed properly, but it doesn't seem like there was much foul play going on. Even the CEO's salary and the key figures' salaries, which I mean now they're like as much or more than the current market cap, but they weren't like something like ridiculously crazy, like millions or something. Like he's getting like 300,000, maybe total 600,000 a year. Like that is a good salary, but it's not like, I don't know, I don't see it as something that would ring alarm bells. It's not like he was taking like billions or millions or something like that. The revenue apparently is 100 million plus, but the market cap is like 400k or 300k or something like that. And there are companies that have been delisted for not doing well financially from the Nasdaq, and then relisted later when they've sorted out their stuff. So apparently Kent Wilson is still working on restructuring and bringing the company back up and like, you know, bringing it back to life. Whether that will happen or not, I mean, it looks pretty unlikely looking at the stock price right now. Although he does say that a lot of it is because of market manipulation and short sellers and stuff like that, which it could be. But I mean, if the company had any foundation, it would probably be able to rebound or survive to some extent. The way it's like collapsed now, it's like basically zero, and they've basically lost investor trust and all this. They have like brought in a new auditing firm, and the CFO has been changed or something. It is gonna take a lot for it to recover. Like there's gonna need to be like some huge difference. Nothing in this video is financial advice, it's for entertainment purposes only. But if you are holding it and you're like down 90+% like I am, I'm down like 95% or something, at this point like you might as well just hold. Like what are you gonna do? Like the amount you'll have left is like such a tiny portion that you might as well just leave it there and just see what happens. Or you could of course realize the gains to offset your tax. And the big institutional buyers like Vanguard and Fidelity and BlackRock and whatever basically sold out of their positions like last year. So I mean, that's not a good sign. Well, obviously, I mean, nothing about this company right now is a good sign. I'm surprised they even bought it at all. Like, I mean, I guess at that time it was doing well. I don't actually remember why it was doing well. I need to like remember, why did I like buy it? What was going on? I just remember that everyone liked Kent Wilson, and it looked like he was doing something revolutionary, and that drone company looked like it was gonna like be the next big thing. That's also another thing to remember, is that when there's a company they've invested in, try to be more realistic and don't just look at anything they do and think, yeah, this is gonna be like the next Google and the next Amazon, and you know, just be a bit more realistic. But the most important thing, like, I don't know how much to say this, that manage your risk. Don't go and put like 50% of your money or go all in some random company, especially something that's like a new company. If you manage your risk correctly, you can afford to take losses like this and have other wins that make up for it. But if you go all in something, it's like either you get it all or you lose it all. And in the long run, it's not going to work out. You might get a couple big wins and then you'll get big losses, and that'll be the end of that. But anyway, this was just like a reminder to manage your risk, and a video for any fellow Alpine 4 investors who lost all their money in this, to remind you that you're not alone, and just keep going. Just learn from this and learn to manage your risk better in the future. Make sure you like and comment and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts below, and if you invested in Alpine, or if you took profit, or if you're still holding it, or whatever happened, let me know. It'd be interesting to see like what you guys have been through. So that's all for this video, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.